I grew up in a home where my father wasn't around. I was with it was me and my three brothers and my mom. Growing up, I would see my father maybe about 2-3 times a year. He always had excuses why I'd never show up to come see us, me and my younger brother. Both of my parents weren't saved, so we didn't grow up in a Christian home at all. And I tried getting myself involved with sports and popularity and all of that. So I tried being the best at everything I could be. I tried being Mr. Popularity at my school. I tried dating the richest and the best looking girls at my school. So that was pretty much my life. I wasn't really involved with my family. So I was a huge rebel. I only cared about my popularity and my friends and doing that all over again. During that time, I really didn't think that I was lost, but I knew there was something missing. Even though I was the most popular kid at the time, it still was never satisfying. I didn't think I was lost, but I definitely was lost. I was so far from God, the things He had, the things He wanted to give me. Even though I was lost, I didn't know how to become found. I started going to youth group at the time. I was about 15 years old. I started going to youth group, started playing the role. I wasn't living a Christian life at all, but I told everyone else I was Christian. I thought I was playing the Christian part, but I really wasn't. It wasn't until we had a Halloween outreach. Actually, it's going to be 9 years from this Halloween. And what we did is, our youth pastor had us go up and down the streets of Delaware Road, and I had this entire one side where all I did was hand out these tracts, and I would knock on these people's doors. And at the time, I'm doing this because I'm trying to impress people, because that's the type of person that I am. I try to be the best at everything, even if I was youth group, even though I wasn't acting Christian. I was trying to be the best Christian at the time. So I was trying to hit the most houses. I was trying to do the most work that I could. So I started going up and down these houses, and I would knock on their doors, and they would open the door and they would say, "No trick or treat?" And I would say, "No, but here's a treat for you." And I would hand them a tract that would talk to them about our church. I would talk to them about God. I never actually read it myself, but that's what it would say. So I kept doing that over and over and over again until I got to this one house. And then as soon as I got to the house, it was a complete white house. And when I looked at it, I didn't even think anybody was home. But I knocked on the door, and this lady in a witch costume actually opened up, and she said, "No trick or treat?" I said, "No, but here's a treat for you." And I handed her the tract, and she grabbed it, and she looked back, and she said the name of my church, and she said, "Oh, I've been going there for years." I'm like, "Really?" And as she's talking, I'm kind of listening to what she's saying, but I'm looking inside her house, and I see that the entire house is decked out with Halloween stuff. There's a little kid in like a pumpkin running around. There's spider webs. It was the most decked out house that I saw that night. But there was nothing on the outside. And it's a complete white house. And as she's talking, the first thing that comes to my mind was, if she never told me she went to my church, I never would have thought that. And as soon as I handed her the tract and she said thank you, and I said bye, and I started walking, that was the first time, not that God spoke to me, but the first time I actually listened to Him. And from that point, it was like He was telling me I was that house. I was showing everybody how white I was on the outside, but in the inside, I wasn't different from anybody else. I was black. I was just like the world. From that point that I realized, or I came to realize that I really was a sinner, and I really wasn't different, and I really was lost. From that day forward, unexpectedly, my life completely changed, and for the better. And at the time, I was afraid to change because I thought I wasn't going to have enough fun. I thought I was going to have too much fun with my friends, too much fun partying, too much fun doing the things that I wanted to do. But unexpectedly, it changed so much for the better. My life has done a complete 180, and not only has my life changed, and I'm living that godly lifestyle that God wants me to live, but more importantly than that, I have a best friend. I have someone that is I have someone that loves me more than I could ever love him back, and that's God himself. And that's what the main thing that I realized, that all these years, God never stopped loving me, and he was just waiting for me to love him back.
So take me to a place